Are you a teacher wanting to build wealth online and teach because you want to and not because you have to? Laney Goff built her six-figure business in less than a year. She started off as a VIP kid online teacher, and she's leveled up teaching on OutSchool and then having her own paid program within the online teaching community. She is a powerhouse. I'm so excited to have her on my channel today. We are sharing the top 5 secrets to building wealth as an online teacher. So if that interests you, then stay tuned because we're sharing these secrets, and these are the things that have helped Laney and I level up so much in our businesses in the last year. You're not going to want to miss it. Laney, thank you so much for being here today. I am so stoked to have you share these secrets with us, and it's so good to have you back.
Yeah, so happy to be here.
So let's dive right in. Last time I had you on my channel, you hadn't hit 6 figures yet, and now, have you hit 6 figures now?
Yes, combined with all of my passive income, I have hit over 6 figures. Not over 6 figures. It ain't 7 figures. You know what I mean?
I'm 7 figures now, no big deal. Oh my gosh. No, that's amazing. And you've been someone that I've looked up to. And so let's dive straight into it. Laney, what do you think is that first secret to building wealth as an online teacher?
The first secret to building wealth as an online teacher is to invest in your business and your financial education. I think this is a huge one that everyone probably passes over.
I never realized the importance of investing in myself. And then I realized that was the big differentiator of teacher businesses that were like skyrocketing and teacher businesses that were just kind of growing really slowly. Because that used to be me. My business just kind of grew slowly over time. And that's great. I showed up consistently and all that. But when you invest in your business and coaches and programs, and you say, give me your blueprint, because I don't want to do all the trial and error myself.
Right.
Man, it takes you next level. It really does.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I know that you and we connected over a program that we did. And I think that alone was able to really speed things up tremendously for me. And one of the reasons why I was able to scale so fast.
And I think as teachers, it's hard to invest in yourself. Like, Laney, I would love to know what's the most, if you're comfortable sharing, what's the most you've ever invested in your business or financial education?
The most I've done, it was around $4,000. I'm still in the program right now. And it was scary, but
yeah,
it was totally worth it. And I learned things that I would have never learned otherwise. What about you?
Yep. The most I've ever invested in myself was $5,000 for a program. And yeah, it was scary. And I was like, but actually, I think it's kind of funny. I actually wasn't that. I think the first program I ever spent money on, it was $1,000. That one was really scary. And then I realized how important it was and how much it leveled me up with it. When I found this other program was $5,000, I was like, all right, whatever, take my money. Like, if it's going to get me there faster and teach me to build that system that I need, like, here you go, $5,000, I'll make it back. And, and way more, it's worth that return on investment. Oh,
yeah.
Yes, I love it. So this is something that really for us was why we made Scale to Success, was to have something where teachers could learn ways that they can build wealth and passive income online and invest in themselves, but it's not this like crazy ticket price.
Yeah, I think that's also really, really huge, because just like you said, the first program that I ever really invested in truly for my business was the same one. It was $1,000. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, what am I doing? So for us to be able to give them so much content that is going to truly help them in so many ways, and for a price that is so reasonable, you can't beat it.
Yes. And if people are like, I'm just hearing about Scale to Success, what is Scale to Success? Laney, what is Scale to Success?
Of the year. Scale to Success is a virtual summit that Danie and I are hosting together for online teachers to learn how to build and scale successful online businesses that allow them a life of freedom.
Yes. And it's going to be on August 5th and 6th of 2021. So it's coming up, and we have speakers who have literally built full-time incomes on these different platforms. We've got Lisa Markle Sparkles, who quit. I've had her on my channel before, who was able to quit her full-time teaching job from her passive income from teachers to pay teachers. We've got top 1% Etsy seller sharing her secrets. We've got me on YouTube. We've got Laney on courses. We've got Tim building funnels and websites. I mean, we have email marketing, a CPA. We just have so many speakers and all of the major areas that you need to know about when you're building an online business, we would love to see you there. We were really trying to build something that we would be interested in going to.
Yeah, absolutely. And allow us to connect with other teachers. The networking part of it is so big, because just like you and I collaborating, we want other teachers to be able to do the same thing.
Yes, that community is so vital. And that's what we've been making a pump up video. I'm going to link it down below, because you'll see some teachers that are really stoked about coming too. But that's the one thing everybody says. They're really excited for we've got a virtual networking and happy hour night where you're able to connect with teachers. And we're going to make some some teacher bestie matchmaking. Let's do it. Let's do it. Well, perfect. So let's get into that second secret. Laney, what is the second secret to building wealth as an online teacher?
The second secret to building wealth as an online teacher is to read books or listen to podcasts in your free time. I know that this is all that I do. What about you? I know, Danie, you read so much.
Yes. I used to think you always want to learn from people in the top of the different industries, right? And maybe you can't learn, you can't pay Donald Miller, who's like the king of branding, to work with you one-on-one, but you can literally hear his thoughts by reading his book. That's how I see it. So I see books as my way to learn from top entrepreneurs and really kind of get in their head. So yeah, I'm always reading business books. If you are interested in reading specific business books when you're just getting started, I definitely recommend all of Donald Miller's book, especially Building a Story Brand. Atomic Habits is really wonderful. Right now I'm reading Profit First, just kind of the financial side of Atomic Habits. They're similar. Yeah. And I really love the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. That's a great one to kind of get you in the right mindset. And I think about lessons I learned from that book actually almost on a daily basis. So those are mine. Laney, I know you are the podcast queen. Yeah. What are the podcasts that you recommend?
Suck at reading. So right now, my number one business podcast would be the Graham Cochran Show. He also has a YouTube channel, but I think that he's got really great insight into creating courses and memberships and really running an online business. And then I also like Sabrina Phillips. She has a great podcast about the same kind of stuff, but she's just so strategic and shares so much free information. And I also like to learn about mindset. Mindset's really huge for me and something I work on every day. So recently I shared with you Love Your Life and Law of Attraction. Is that the name of it?
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
I might get it wrong. Love Your Life and Law of Attraction. I've really been enjoying that one. And I pretty much start every day with an episode from that podcast.
They're really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. So between these podcasts and these books, that's a really great foundation for you. And yeah, podcasts are just there. If you have free time or you're driving, put on a podcast or get an audiobook from your library and listen to these things that help you level up, because they make all the difference. What is the third secret to building wealth as an online teacher?
The third secret to building wealth as an online teacher is to never be the smartest person in the room and to utilize your colleagues to help you level up, just like you help me level up every single day.
It's like that. I don't know who said it, but you're the combination of your 5 closest friends. I really think when you're building a business, you've got to have your 5 work friends, right? Because obviously, a lot of your friends aren't going to be entrepreneurs, right? But you've got to make entrepreneur friends when you become an entrepreneur, because you need people that are going to, when they listen to your ideas, are going to take them to the next level, or they're going to say, oh, you're not thinking big enough. And that's something for our friendship. Gosh, I fed off your energy so much. I was like, wow, look what Laney's doing. I can do it too. Right. Or wow, she did that fast. I can speed things up. I don't have to be a sloth about this. Right. Everybody's time's their own, but truly your friendship has skyrocketed my business.
Yeah. And same. I think that that's something that every online teacher should really take into consideration is, number one, the Instagram community for online teaching is so supportive. There's so many teachers out there. It's just about connecting with them and reaching out. That's all that it was for us. And so they should be doing the same. But I like how you were saying, surrounding yourself with those 5 people, because it reminds me of that saying, if you surround yourself with 4 idiots, you'll be the 5th. If you surround yourself with 4 millionaires, you'll be the 5th. So I always think about that.
Yeah, but it is true. It's because too, people have habits. You just said you don't watch TV. People that are they're focused on their mindset and improving themselves. They just do things differently than people that are living for the weekend. And, there's nothing wrong with living for the weekend, but that's not how I want to live my life. I want to create a life where, I put in the work and I'm obsessed with what I do, but like every day feels like the weekend. I forget what day it is half the time.
I know. You're exactly right. Dang, you said that so well. Like, that's exactly right. Also, I'm too old to live for the weekend anymore. That's the good thing about Scale to Success, is that it's going to allow other online teachers to find those connections of people who have the same end goal. And I know that you and I have the same end goal, right? We want to live a pure life of freedom, which you clearly have been doing since the beginning of time, because you've never had a corporate job. You've been crushing it since you were 12. You're fine.
So going along with that, I feel like that really hits our fourth secret to building wealth as an online teacher. And that is know your why. It isn't enough to just get rich. You have to have a driving force behind it. So Laney, tell me, what is your why? Like, is that really what's been able to, saying it out loud, but also having that mission statement? Has that helped you in scaling?
Oh, 100%. Actually, it's really funny because your program really helped me to define that even more than I knew. I mean, I'd already had my team membership and all of that, but once I went through your program, I felt like the clarity was there, and it's so much more defined for me and my potential clients at this point, that they know, I hope they know, my goal is to show them exactly how to build something just like I have done that allows them to stay at home with their kids on days that they're sick and they don't have to worry about getting childcare, or to be able to go on a vacation. We're going to Disney in 2 months. And the fact that I get to take my kids at the age of 5 and 3, that's so big to me that I think that that's what's most important, is that I want teachers to feel that that's why I'm doing it, so that they can also see that end goal.
Yeah. And I think if you don't have a why, if it's just, the money, I want to hit six figures. I just want to be a millionaire. It's just never enough. You have to have a mission statement that's going to fuel you when like things don't go the way you want them to go. And you're better able, when you have a mission statement too, like when you went through my program, you're able to better understand your target audience, and your branding and your messaging becomes really clear, because you know exactly why you're doing what you're doing, and that one person that you really, really want to help. And it really all is about serving others.
Yeah, 100%. I think that teachers clearly get into the profession because they want to serve others. So you're already in a great place, a great position to be able to continue that by building an online business.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so let's close with our fifth secret to building wealth as an online teacher. Laney, do you want to say, what is our fifth secret?
The fifth secret to building wealth as an online teacher is to envision your success and have good money mindset.
That's something we just talked about in a live that was really interesting. We got a lot of messages after that live. It was kind of crazy when we were talking about affirmations and money mindset, because it is so important to feel good and not overwhelmed by money.
Yeah.
So I know you talked about, when we did that live, you have like money Mondays. Talk me through what is your wealth mindset, and kind of how do you set your finances up?
Yeah. So I think it's exactly what you just said. It's about being comfortable with money and identifying, number one, what is your relationship with money based on how you were raised? Because that's a huge part of it. Were you raised to hearing all the time, money doesn't grow on trees, or money is the root of all evil? Or were you raised that, money comes and goes? So understanding your relationship with money is the very first step of that. And then getting comfortable with knowing exactly what's incoming and outgoing all the time, which is why I do Money Mondays, where I dedicate Mondays to updating all of my finances for the week. But I also do it every day, because as soon as I wake up, I grab my phone. Most people will go to Instagram, Facebook, whatever. The first thing I do is look at my bank accounts, PayPal, and Stripe, because I want to know exactly what number I have in the bank. And someone asked in that live if that's me becoming obsessed with money. And I could see how it looks like that. But I think more than that, it's about financial literacy and understanding how and where your money is being invested. Yeah. And I always want to make smart decisions, but I'm also not scared to spend money at all, at all.
Yeah, that's something I think that's really huge, is that goes back to that first secret that we have, is investing in yourself. And so I think investing it, if you're going to invest in something, know if it has a high return on investment. If you invest in this program, is it going to teach you in a month what it's going to take you actually a year to learn if you were to do it on your own?
Right.
Then it's worth it, right? But if it's something where it's like, do I need the top platform for my course? If you're just starting out, or for your email marketing, if you're just starting out, 100% no, right? You can scale up to stuff like that later on. But when it comes to certain things that, have a really high return on investment, don't be afraid to invest in yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a hard subject to talk about. People can be sensitive to it, and I totally understand that. But I think the more that you're comfortable with it and understanding of your relationship with money, it gets a little easier.
For
but
sure.
What about you envisioning your success? What do you do to envision your success?
I was reading Jen, whatever her name's, You're a Badass at Making Money. Yeah. There was one thing that really stuck out to me was, she said, you have to know what you're going to do. Like, if your goal is to make $1 million, like what are you going to do with that money? Again, it comes back probably to the why. But for me, I was like, if my goal is to make $1 million and I know it's going to happen, right? I know I'm building up to $1 million business, but, what am I going to do with it? Well, I already know, like, I know the program that I want to invest in, right? For myself, like this program I want to build. And I know that, I want to be able to take my whole family on trips. I know that there's certain things that I'm going to do, and I envision it, and I envision what that life's going to look like. And once you kind of have decided the things that you want to do with it, it's so much easier, and it helps bring it to you, right? It's that law of attraction where you're like, okay, it's that you're bringing the energy to you.
Yeah. I just felt actually
you feel that?
Totally in my universe.
I think my hair just like got blown a little in my,
Ooh, it felt good.
Those are our 5 secrets. Anything else that you want to share about kind of wealth mindset?
Join Scale to Success.
Ooh, because we're talking about it. We are kind of sharing. We're going to go more in depth in our first welcome seminar. We're talking about wealth mindset, and even in yoga too. There's going to be twice where we're talking about the whole weekend, I really think. Yeah.
And just like we were talking about the other day, it's always great to invest in programs where you kind of get a broad education on a topic. But this is so cool because you're getting small topics from actual experts.
And they're no different than you and I. We all started out, most of us, as either teachers in the brick and mortar classroom or online teachers.
Yep.
There's nothing special about anybody speaking. If we can do it, you can do it too. And we're going to give you those blueprints. You can check out the link to the Scale to Success Summit up here or down below. And if you have any questions, hit up Laney and I on Instagram. We would love to talk with you, shoot you some voice memos. We're getting pumped, and we will see you next video. Also, be sure to check out Laney's channel as well. She's posting another video really soon.